Hey guys, I'm gonna talk today about how to go about writing a wobbly, pulsing, slightly psychedelic, techie, progressive bass line. So let's dive straight in. Here's my Ableton template. That's the kick. Now I'm going to use Serum. Got an empty instance of Serum. So let's just turn it on. Okay. Fetch it from the other screen. There we are. Okay. I'm just going to dial in some notes. Let's start in G. Two bar loop. 2, 3, 4. Take that one up to G sharp. That one up to A sharp. G sharp. Okay, let's have a listen. Actually, just turn that down. It's going to be really loud. Okay. So those are the notes forming the melodic content. Let's just open up LFO Tool. LFO Tool is produced by Xfer Records, who also make the Serum synth, and it looks remarkably similar in its graphic interface. So that's a volume shape. So this is set to quarter notes. So every kick is going to cross this once. Boom, 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 boom. And it gives a sweeping pulsing effect to whatever it's applied to. Great. So I'm going to just turn the kick off and open up Serum. Now, sorry, no. Let's just try it the octave down. -1. Okay, great. Now, let's try 3 voices. I'm going to have it more central. Don't want it too detuned. And this random knob seems to bring the sort of panning back to the center a bit more. I'll just mess around with that one. Well, it doesn't really bring the panning to the center, but it controls how wide the random phase goes. Might bring the detuning down a bit more. Yeah, okay, that's a good starting point. This is the amplitude envelope, and it's hardwired to envelope 1. Just bring the release out a bit. Okay, that sounded okay as it was really, but that's fine. So let's put a sub in there. take it down an octave, turn it down a bit. Let's try this one. Nice. Okay, and a filter. Let's turn both on because I'm going to be using a second oscillator. What we got? Let's try 18. Turn up the resonance, turn up the fatness, turn up the drive. Let's have a play around to see how this sounds on its own. Okay, now I want to put an LFO. I want to apply an LFO to this filter. For those people who don't know what an LFO is, it's essentially something that will move these dials, and I can apply the LFO to the cutoff so that it moves the cutoff automatically without me having to do it manually like that. And you can set how fast it happens, how much it happens, how frequently it happens. So you just grab the I want to assign the rate of the LFO. This is all the LFO, LFO1. I want to assign the rates of the LFO. So I grab it, I've got the button held down and I'm dropping it. Of course it doesn't want to work for me, does it? Why is that? Right, so I've moved it back to my second screen, which you can't see, which is most unhelpful, and it's let me assign it. So now I can actually assign it. So I'm sorry about that. So I just clicked and held and moved it up to here, dropped it on here, and now when I get that line, if I hover over that symbol which has appeared, I click, and that feeds in how much LFO I want on this. So that's very little, that's a lot. And this will move the filter up and down a little bit, this will move it up and down a lot. So we want a lot, just for at least to demonstrate. So when I hit play, this cutoff is going to start moving, and it will move as quickly as I've set it here. So let's just do 1 bar to begin with, and we'll see it moving up and down over the course of 1 bar. And I'll put the kick in. Okay, turn up the resonance. Now let's turn on second oscillator, find another preset. Now I'm just going to have a play around, flicking through some presets, making some adjustments on the oscillators, just to try and get 2 oscillators that sound good together. So just follow along with what I'm doing. Okay, so that sounds fine for now. I'm going to add a little portamento and just overlap a couple of the notes. Let's overlap those two and those two. Right, now some distortion. Diode 2 is quite fat. I'm going to turn up the drive, put it to pre, bring the mix down. Okay, so that's just a quick demonstration of the pulsing psychedelic techie bass. The LFO tool is having a massive impact on the sound. So everything that's going on in Serum is still being affected by the LFO tool, which gives it that lovely pumping feeling. And the possibilities are endless within this program. So I don't want to sort of carry on too much, but I've given you a quick overview of how to use this quite quickly, quite simply. There are lots of more in-depth features in here, like this menu can make the waveform sound different and the wavetable position. Sometimes you want to sort of be careful with the random factor because it starts the wave point in random places, and it can sometimes sound a bit inconsistent, but it can give you a more sort of natural feel because it's just not exactly the same wave playing from the same position each time it's being triggered. You've got the noise generator, which sort of just adds various types of noise. You've got a whole range of different things. You can add an attack to the sound, like a click. And then you can save your presets. So I quite like that one. I'm going to save it in here. I'm going to call it Wonky bass Psy. Nice. Okay, great.